Greetings. I'd like to continue our discussion of the formulaic essay. Here is an example of an essay that follows the guidelines we talked about in the first screencast. So if we look at a few things that the formulaic essay requires, for example, number one, we have a hook. The Pittsburgh Pirates, the standard bearers for ineptitude. This first sentence acts as a hook, simply drawing a reader into the topic to be discussed, namely losing baseball games. Second, right here, we have our thesis statement, which tells the reader more generally what we will be talking about for the essay, namely a few organizations notorious for poor play. And then number three, we have our points of discussion or subtopics. This sentence or sentences expresses to the reader what exactly will be in the body paragraphs. So, if you read the sentence, you can see we'll be talking about the Pirates, the Royals, the Mets, and more specifically, their failures as evidenced by losing records and mismanagement of player contracts. The introduction provides very clearly what exactly is your agenda for the essay, what you'll be trying to express to the reader, and what the reader can expect to read about. As we then move to the body, we'll see that the discussion is had in the exact order mentioned in the introduction. So, for example, we expect to hear about the Pirates first, the Royals second, and the Mets third. We'll want to hear about losing records and contract mismanagement, once again, in those same orders. 1, 2 for Pirates, 1, 2 for Royals, 1, 2 for the Mets. As I mentioned in the last screencast, if perhaps one of those points doesn't apply to a team in this particular example, you don't have to discuss it. So, for example, let's say the Mets in some imaginary world have had as successful a history as the New York Yankees or the St. Louis Cardinals, but they are notorious for having terrible player contracts. I could very simply make that an adjustment in my essay. I could simply state something like, while the Mets have had great victories every year, winning seasons, playoffs, etc., they are, however, known for demonstrating terrible management of their contracts. Okay, in any case, if you felt that one of your points of discussion was weak because perhaps it didn't really fit the thesis statement, then simply take it out. Too many young writers feel, well, I've already thought about this and I've already decided I'm going to do it, so I'm going to do it whether it works or not. Part of your responsibility as a writer of a formulaic or academic essay is to be able to responsibly determine if the material you're using fits or not. All right, so let's just, for demonstration, let's take a look and say Pirates are green, right there. Let's say the Royals will be blue, right there, and the Mets will be red, right there. So in the formulaic essay, we've talked about organization. You've seen how each of the points mentioned in the introductory paragraph are discussed in that. Each of them are mentioned, but they also have to be discussed in that order. So we can see that everything about the Mets is red. Everything about the Royals is blue, and everything about the Pirates is green. You can see that the color-coded points of discussion in paragraphs, first, second, and third is first, second, and third. So your work with the formulaic essay should be similarly color-coded. The final point I would maybe like to make is about the concluding paragraph. All right, the conclusion. Our final paragraph is at the bottom here. We'll make it purple. Okay, and we can see what it reads. The MLB, the official league of America's pastime, has had some historic losers. Good. You see here that I am restating the thesis. Has had some historic losers. Let's go up here. And I know there's a lot of color going on, but you can see the thesis statement is reworded. Let's take a look at the next sentence. Oddly enough, these three teams have had resurgences lately. The Pirates have been contenders, the Royals are the reigning World Series champs, and the Mets are the defending NL champions. If I look at an essay like this from a student, I'm thinking that those second and third sentences of the concluding paragraph one and two, the second and third sentences of the concluding paragraph are probably there because a student wants to make a word or page requirement. The point is that they are absolutely unnecessary only because they are unrelated. Sorry, I'm looking for my pen, not my highlighter. They are not related to losing. And this sounds to me like a separate essay, which might be a very good essay, but it's not related to the essay that I've presented. It is new information about a separate topic, which you don't want in the conclusion. Perhaps, if you do need to build your essay and make it longer, well, then you can reconsider and say, well, maybe I'm not getting enough of an essay just talking about how some of these teams lose. Maybe I want to talk about the resurgence of historically bad teams and how they have reached new success. What have they done differently to capture success? And I'm sure there's wonderful discussion on that topic. But according to the thesis statement you've provided in this essay, those resurgences are not to be discussed. Finally, these teams are likely to be forever associated with their losing games and star players than they are to be with any reputation for success. All right. I hope that this is a demonstration of what you should be looking for in your formulaic writing on nearly every assignment this year. Typically, when you're writing an essay for college, this is the format you may follow. Now, in this essay, maybe there are some parts missing. For example, the transitions that were mentioned in the original screencast on the formulaic essay. That will be for a different day. Have a good day.